Losing a friend. Losing a friend is a particular kind of grief. Doesn't always come with rituals or recognition. There may be no cards, no casseroles, no permission to talk about how much it hurts, and yet the loss can be just as profound as any other. Sometimes more so, because friendships often hold the parts of us that don't fit neatly anywhere else. There are many ways to lose a friend: through death, through distance, or personal choice, and through a moment you may never have seen coming when someone decides to step out of your life entirely. Each one carries its own kind of pain. When a friend dies, the loss is often immediate and unmistakable. There is shock, sadness, disbelief, a sudden awareness of absence. You may reach for your phone before remembering there's no one to text. You may replay memories and conversations, wishing for one more ordinary moment together. That kind of loss asks you to grieve not just the person, but the future you assumed would still include them. But losing a friend who is still alive can feel even more confusing. Sometimes friendships fade quietly, life shifts, schedules change, values evolve. There's no dramatic ending, just a slow loosening that eventually becomes distance. You may notice that you're the one reaching out more often, or that conversations feel thinner than they used to. Over time, the friendship slips away, and you're left wondering when it changed and why. Other times, the ending is sudden. I once received an email from someone I cared deeply about. In it, they told me they were choosing to remove me from their life. There was no conversation, no invitation to respond, just a clear final statement that our relationship was over. I remember how deeply it hurt, how stunned I felt, how many times I reread the words, trying to understand what I'd missed. Losing a friend this way doesn't just bring sadness. It brings confusion, self-doubt, and a quiet unraveling of trust. You start questioning your memories, your intentions, yourself. At the time, it felt like a rejection of who I was, not just the relationship. This is one of the hardest parts of losing a friend through choice or rupture. When someone leaves without discussion, the mind fills in the gaps. You may replay conversations, search for mistakes, or wonder what version of you they decided wasn't worth keeping. Without context or closure, the loss can feel destabilizing. And yet, not all losses are the same, even when they hurt equally. When a friend chooses to step away, it doesn't always mean you did something wrong. Sometimes it means the relationship no longer fit where one or both of you are. Sometimes it reflects capacity, boundaries, fear, or pain that has nothing to do with you. But knowing that intellectually doesn't immediately soften the emotional impact. Loss doesn't move on our timelines. When friendships end, especially abruptly, there's often a second layer of grief that goes unnamed. The loss of the story you thought you were living, the shared future, the inside jokes that now belong to the past, the sense of being known in a particular way by that person. And unlike romantic breakups, friendship losses are rarely talked about openly. There's often an unspoken expectation you should just move on, that it wasn't that serious. But if you're reading this, you know that wasn't true. Friendships shape us. They witness our lives. They hold our laughter, our struggles, our becoming. Grieving a friend, whether through death, distance, or rupture, is a valid and human response. What matters over time is not how the friendship ended, but how you make sense of it. In my own experience, healing didn't come quickly. For a long time, the loss felt raw. I carried it quietly, unsure where to put it. Eventually, with time and reflection, something shifted. I didn't forget the hurt, but it stopped defining me. I began to understand that the ending said something about the season we were in, not the entirety of who I am or what I bring to relationships. Healing didn't mean erasing the friendship. It meant integrating it. Some friendships are meant to last for a lifetime. Others are meant to shape us for a chapter. When a friend leaves, it doesn't erase what was real. It doesn't invalidate the care, connection, or meaning that existed. Those moments still count. And sometimes the quiet truth that emerges later is this: the loss made room for something else. Maybe not immediately or intentionally, but gently over time, it did. Doesn't mean that the pain was necessary or deserved. It simply means that life continues, and we continue with it. We create our reality. If you've lost a friend and find yourself replaying the ending, wondering what you could have done differently or questioning your worth, please know this: grief doesn't require certainty to be real. You don't need perfect understanding in order to heal. It can help to have a place where you're allowed to talk about the loss without being rushed towards resolution, a place where you can say, "This mattered to me," and have that be enough. At Hold, we offer confidential, judgment-free listening for moments exactly like this, not to analyze the friendship or fix the pain, but to give you space to speak it aloud, to tell the story, to let the story land somewhere safe, to hear yourself reflect, remember, and make meaning at your own pace. Losing a friend can leave a mark, but it doesn't have to harden you. It doesn't have to close you off. With time, care, and space, it can soften into something quieter, a reminder of your capacity to connect, to love, and to heal. Some endings hurt deeply, and some of them eventually heal. And when you're ready, there's space to talk about it.